that works for
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to Truth with Consequences with Vince Russo. I'm Matt Kuhn, and we are here talking about either stuff that happened in the past, or today we're going to make a little bit of an exception and talk about some current stuff. Vince Russo, last time we were here, we talked about TNA, we talked about Sting. What did you think of the feedback? I thought we had some good conversations based on that.
I thought we had some real good conversations. I tried to give some insights of my personal experience with the guy. And, bro, I made it clear, I did not know this thing prior to me working with him. So I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know Malibu Sting. I wasn't a friend of his back there when he broke into the business with Warrior and, on the scene at WCW. But I certainly knew the guy that, I worked with for a very, very long time at TNA, still keep in contact to this day. And I just hope I shed a light on that guy and who he really is, behind the makeup.
I think you really did. I think it was a good show that showed an affection and an affinity you had for him, similar to the China show. It was about someone that you liked and respected in this business where sometimes those kind of things are in short order. I think you just called him Malibu Sting, like Malibu Barbie. Is that what you just called him?
Yeah, what was he? Wasn't he Malibu? Oh, no, Venice Beach Sting, wasn't he?
I mean, he was just Sting, but I think when people refer back to him, they call him, the Venice Beach flat top.
Yeah, Venice
Sting.
Beach, Malibu, six of one, half a dozen of another.
So today, we are doing this show, Vince, because you have had it.
Matt, your hair's going wild, bro.
I know it's growing out.
What's going on? Talk to me. What's going on? What do you, bro? You're not getting. Is this a midlife crisis now where you teach music, but now you're going to become the rock star?
I'm not sure I can pull off the long hair anymore. I've had very long hair many times.
Have you really, bro? Have you had long hair?
Oh yeah. For a long time, I had long hair. And
really?
Then once in a while, you have to look in a mirror and you have to say, "Does a grown man look like this?" So. I might get a haircut, but it's growing out, but it gets crazy. But I'm glad it's not like, for instance, Sting's hair.
Yeah. Matt, that's one thing I've always wanted was the long hair. I've always wanted the long hair, but I can never get past the poofy stage, bro.
You have to really man up to get past that stage. It's the
I
worst
remember Triple
ever.
H, Hunter had a long talk with me about that, bro, about like how I have to get through that stage. We had a long talk about it. I remember when Hunter had short hair and then, he had long hair. But I can't get through it, bro, especially during the summer, when it starts getting hot and shit like that. I can't get through it, man.
And also, it's enticing because a haircut gives you a new you. And every time I get a haircut, I feel like a new guy. So I love getting a nice haircut. So I'll probably just end up cutting it soon. But for now,
bro, I swear to God, I'd literally, I'm not even kidding you, I'd literally get extensions if nobody noticed. But I can't all of a sudden one day I got long hair, bro. People are going to figure that out.
You know who has the worst hair now? Like, absolutely? Stern.
Who's that?
Stern.
Yeah, bro, you're dead on, bro. I was looking at him yesterday. I was watching a recent episode yesterday. Bro, he's got poodle head. I mean, he's got bad hair now, bro.
It just looks like he's trying to... I mean, it can't be real, right? It can't be real. And he's just trying to keep it, and his face has gotten so old, but his hair looks like it did in 1983.
Yeah, nah, bro, you're dead on. I was thinking, bro, and let me tell you something, bro. Like, what about Robin's hair?
Yeah.
I don't know. With all due respect, I don't know what's going on there, bro.
But I think I saw the same clip you did, but not a wrinkle on that face, though. Robin, like... Her hair, she's probably 60-something, and she's maybe put on a little weight. She came through a very close call with cancer.
Yeah.
But, dude, not a wrinkle on that face. A woman friend of mine used to say, black don't crack, And she still, her face looks a lot better than Howard's face for sure.
Yeah.
What about Fred?
I tell you what, bro, I was shocked. I was shocked he did another book.
It's gonna be great, right? Those
yeah,
books,
I was shocked.
Particularly the first one were really important to me. I loved that first book.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I remember I read that cover to cover, and I guess I read a bit, but I don't read that much biographies. But Stern is fascinating, and I hope he gets into the whole Artie thing.
Yeah. I bet you he won't, but that would be interesting.
he's a strange guy where he doesn't get into anything real sometimes. He's
Yeah.
afraid to get into the reality of things like the Artie thing.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I did I tell you that I tried to contact him to do a podcast with him once, Artie Lang?
No, no.
I got a text from him like what was it, 6 months ago? And he goes, "Hey man, it's Artie. Give me a call." And I was like, and then I called him, I texted him, I never heard another thing from him.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's good enough, though.
It was very cool. I got it on my phone. I'm going to frame it or something like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, Vince, we've done a good job recently of making a lot of our listeners are saying, I want the old stuff. And so we talked about TNA. We had 2 rotations of TNA, WWE, WCW. But you've had it. You have to sit here and watch this stuff every week, and you cannot contain yourself any longer. What the F happened to WrestleMania? That's what you asked me, and can you tell me what you mean by that?
What the F happened to WrestleMania? Matt, you know how like you and I, like sometimes we go back and forth, and I think there's a little misunderstanding about the word mark. Okay, bro? And like, I guess there are categories and levels of mark. You know, being a mark for something, I have no problem with supporting something, paying money for it. I'm 1,000% on board. My problem comes when I think it starts being obsessive with some people. That's that. So I guess maybe there are levels of markism. But here's why I'm saying that, Matt. Matt, I can go back to WrestleMania 3. The Pontiac Silverdome. Okay, bro? Bro, what WrestleMania is this? 30 what? Because I just want to get my age at that point.
35.
Okay, 35. So this is 32 years ago. I'm 58. So I was 26. Okay, Matt, 26, WrestleMania 3. The Andre Hogan setup, the ripping of the chain, the Heenan, now in Andre's ear, Andre a heel. Matt, I can remember, bro, I had a house full of people. I mean, I must have had probably a dozen, 15, 20 people at my house, all in anticipation of WrestleMania 3. And that's where I say, bro, I was a total mark. I was a total mark for the WWE. I was a total mark for the product. I was a total mark for the booking. I was a total mark for the angle. I anticipated it. I looked forward to it. I couldn't call the outcome. Bro, I went to WrestleMania 4 and 5. I drove to Atlantic City. I went to 4. I went to 5. WrestleMania was a spectacle. Bro, I remember WrestleMania 1 because you could only see it on closed circuit TV. You had to go into the movie theater. You had to go to see WrestleMania 1. But, bro, it was such a huge event and such a big deal. And, Mr. T was getting involved. And I remember it vividly. I was supermarket. I wasn't a kid. I was 26 when WrestleMania 3 happened. I went to WrestleMania 4 and 5. I was 27, 28. I was a total mark for this product. Total mark, bro. And now, like you said, fast forward 32 years later, and I'm watching the build. I'm watching the SmackDown build. I'm watching the Raw build. And I'm bro, listen, hate me if you're going to hate me. I'm sitting here and I'm saying, are you effing kidding me? Like, what the F happened to WrestleMania, bro? It's almost like 2 500 teams playing in the Super Bowl. Can you imagine, bro, if the Super Bowl, you had the Super Bowl and you got the Cleveland Browns against the, whoever? I mean, it's WrestleFreaking-Mania, guys. If you're not going to put effort in the entire year, that's fine. Put it in at WrestleMania.
So you're seeing a lack of effort when it comes to this year's, recent WrestleManias. The deal with WrestleMania now, though, and this may be the genesis of the issue, is that it is the biggest spectacle it's ever been. Matthew and I were going to our 6th one this year. Every year it gets bigger. Every year it's a bigger spectacle. But that is the flip side of what I think your issue is, and we've talked about it before. where the brand is bigger than the stars, and the stars are being minimized, and there's nothing like Hogan and Andre is on top of the marquee, but right now WWE is on top of the marquee. Is that kind of the main issue as far as
Matt? That's the problem. The problem is exactly what you're saying, bro. Listen, a couple of years ago, I worked a convention when it was in California, bro. I think it was the NWO and DX that WrestleMania. What was that? 30? I don't even know.
32.
Okay, 32, maybe? Bro.
30. I was there. I think it was 31.
31.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I was in the town for that WrestleMania. I was doing a convention, bro. I was blown away of the phenomenal job they took over that town, bro. Everywhere you went, WrestleMania. I never saw such a marketing job, promotion, advertising, branding. It was effing incredible, bro. Incredible. The job they do in promoting WrestleMania is incredible, but I think now that's where we are. I think the attitude that they have is it doesn't matter what the card is. We're going to sell out the arena. You know, people are going to come from all over the world. We can book the biggest arena. We've made it a spectacle. We've made it like the Super Bowl, and that's where I give them credit. They have. They've done a tremendous job. But to me, why can't it be both? Why can't the creative and the build-up and the card equal the promotion? Why can't it be both? They're taking it for granted, bro. They're basically saying it doesn't matter what we put on there. We know what the dollar figure is going to be when it's all said and done. And that's great, bro. But I got to be honest with you. Is that not a disrespect to the fans?
You could consider it that. But at the same time, from their vantage point, when you look at the dollars and cents being made from these WrestleMania weekends, like you said, these WrestleMania weekends, when you were in San Francisco, from San Francisco to San Jose, there's a WrestleMania sign on every corner. But
yes.
You're not a businessman. You are Vince Russo, a writer. And your issue is what happens there that makes people want to go there, the talent, the build-up, the card, the booking. What makes people interested in WrestleMania, for the most part, is the booking, because most people aren't traveling there. When Matthew and I go, we travel there because we like the spectacle. But for most people, they are interested in the card and the booking, and that is what we're going to focus on today. And if you were to say, maybe in a sentence or so, before we get deep into it, what is the issue with the philosophy of the booking today that makes WrestleMania this year and recent previous years so lacking in your view?
Bro, there's no angles. There's no angles. There's no story. But here's the premise of WrestleMania. We are wrestlers. We don't like each other, so we want to fight. That's the premise across the board. And we could sit here and we could pick apart every angle. And I'm not giving you broad strokes because I will break it down for you. But that's what the premise is. We're wrestlers. Every Monday and Tuesday, we all show up at this building and we want to fight. Nothing happens from Wednesday to Sunday, but on these 2 days, we all show up. We're all at the same place, and we want to fight because we're wrestlers, and by God, that's what we do. I don't give a shit. First of all, you're not doing it because it's fake. So you're not wrestling, bro. You're not fighting. It's not happening. Okay, you're supposed to be entertaining us. If we want to see real fights, bro, we'll watch UFC. And it's just, bro, it blows my mind. There's no angle to anything, bro. Nothing.
And I think that's the misunderstanding that people have of you when you say, it's fake fights and they're not actually fighting. But I think your viewpoint is, and a lot of fans' viewpoint is, it's the build up to the fight. It's the build up, and the fight is the end of the story, not the entire story. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at this WrestleMania card. and see how this develops as the show develops today. And maybe our show can develop a little bit better than you feel the WrestleMania card has developed. The first thing I want to talk about is AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. Two guys who are commodities, two guys who are thrown together in a feud. And the genesis of their feud is, you say you're the face of SmackDown, I'm the face of SmackDown, I'm the indie wrestler, you're the guy who was handed everything. What is wrong with the buildup of this feud? And also, what would you do with these guys, with each other or with somebody else, if it was up to you?
Well, bro, first of all, I'm watching Fastlane. Okay, bro, see, here's where they suck. Okay, because I tell you over and over and over again, bro, you got to protect every guy and every girl on the card. Every one of them, bro. Bro, I'm going to protect D'Lo Brown the same way I'm going to protect Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because if you don't protect your characters, nobody's going to give a shit about them. Okay, bro? So I don't care where you are on the card. If you're on the roster, you're going to be protected. Okay, here's a perfect case in point, bro, and I talk about it all the time. I'm watching Fastlane. Okay, Elias is performing. Okay, here comes Randy Orton out of nowhere with the RKO. Okay, fine. Next thing we know, here's AJ with the flying forearm, and he drops Randy Orton. Now, as soon as I'm watching that, I'm like, okay, bro, or it's Orton. Here's what I know. Because of how the WWE has trained my mind. Here's what I know. Okay, bro, it's Orton and AJ at WrestleMania, and there's your angle. AJ hit him with the flying forearm, so there's your angle. But here's what I'm saying as well. And the RKO that Orton hit Elias with, that's going to be forgotten. So think about that for a second. Elias, are you a pussy? Like, are you a pussy? I know Elias ain't a pussy. He don't look like a pussy to me. He looks like he could kick some serious ass. He's as cool as any character they have on the show. So because, we got to get to the AJ and Orton angle. Well, now when Elias doesn't reciprocate the following week on Raw, now Elias is a pussy. Now you've made Elias a pussy. Randy Orton hit him with the RKO. No comeback, no mention, no nothing. Within 24 hours later, Elias has completely forgotten about that. You've hurt that character. And that's where Elias has to stand up. I'm sorry, Elias. I love you, bro, but you got to stand up and say, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute, the guy RKO'd me out of nowhere. What, am I afraid of him? Is there a reason I don't want retribution? Is there a reason I don't want payback? You got to explain to me why I'm just going to let that slide. Well, here's why they're going to let it slide, bro, because AJ and Randy Orton, that's the WrestleMania match. So you buried Elias in the process. And I mean, bro, do I really need to sit here and explain this to them that they don't understand that?
So Elias aside, there's nothing on the face wrong with Orton versus AJ. They could have built it up over the course of a couple months using the same almost reality-based angle that they kind of threw out of nowhere on SmackDown this past week, talking about Dixie and talking about indies and talking about, you know, Randy being handed stuff and always being part of a faction. That there's nothing on the face that's wrong with that if it was done properly over the last couple months.
Well, bro, first of all, let me give you a little sidebar here. Bro, I swear to God, I popped huge because as a shoot, when we put the belt on AJ in TNA for the very first time, bro, Dixie took AJ to get his hair done. Dixie took AJ and bought him a whole new wardrobe, and Dixie took AJ to tan. So when Orton said that, I'm like, holy shit, bro. How the hell somebody said something in order for that to get out there, but that's a shoot that really happened. But bro, I'm going to give credit to the great. Listen, I want to point something out to the great Ben Hameen. Okay, Ben Hameen does my Raw SmackDown review show. Me, Ben Hameen, and Stevie Richards. Bro, I did not know this about Orton. Okay, bro, but Ben Hameen was telling me. Now, did Orton go AWOL in the military?
Yes, he did.
Why isn't that brought up in the promo?
I think
if AJ is going to say anything, that's the one thing that's real, bro. Why isn't that brought up in the promo?
That's something that could be definitely used, especially with AJ having that kind of country America. You know, he's known as being right wing and known as being conservative. That could work with
exactly, bro. That's it, bro. I don't care whose house this is. I don't give a shit. It's Orton's house. I'm the veteran. No, it's my house, and I'm the. Who gives a shit, bro? That is so basic. One-on-one, shoot with it, bro. If freaking AJ really wants to hit Orton below the belt, that's where you're gonna hit him below the belt, bro. You know, you call yourself a man, bro. You know, men don't go AWOL when they're in the military, bro. It would have been my honor to fight. You know, whatever you're going to say. But my God, bro, give me some real reality where I'm going to sit at home and say, holy shit, because the first thing I'm going to say to myself is, how does freaking Orton counteract that? I mean, if that's a shoot and that's really happens, what can Orton possibly say? But the fact, oh, this is I built this house. No, I built it. What are you, the three little freaking pigs? Who gives a shit? Nobody gives a shit about that, bro. That is the weakest angle you can possibly come up with. And bro, it's not. And bro, come on, Matt. AJ's as old as Orton. So this isn't the legend and the rookie. Who cares, bro, that while you were in the WWE, AJ Styles was ripping it up on the indie scene? Who gives a shit, bro? You guys are the same age.
And they've done it before. Like this is Cena and Daniel Bryan. This is, you know, Samoa Joe. They've done this angle before, and, you know, I think it runs a little empty. I will say, the promos were great, and
they were great. The promos were great. I'm not taking that away.
Paul Heyman had to have written those promos. They were really good, but once again, your issue with that is the Elias thing, and also, if you're going to be real, why not be real in a way that really makes an impact on screen?
You can't be half pregnant.
Right.
If this is a shoot and I'm AJ Styles and I want to really piss Randy Orton off, that's where I'm going.
So let's move on to a match that has had an angle and that did have its big turning moment. We all saw it coming. The Miz versus Shane McMahon. Of course, Shane and Miz have been in this tag team, and Shane suddenly turns on him, as we all knew he would. And now we have Miz as the good guy facing Shane as the bad guy who embarrassed in front of his father. What do you think of this? Could it be done different? What do you think of the entire angle?
Well, you know, first of all, bro, like let's start it Fastlane. Okay, Shane's supposed to be the heel now, so we're supposed to get heat on Shane. Why is Shane just grabbing the old man by the face? That's not heat. Like that's like, I'm too nice to hit you. Bro, if Mrs. Father couldn't take a bump or whatever the case may be, bro, you get security over there. You line up security behind him. At least have Shane pie face the guy back into security, and they make sure he don't get hurt. Okay, that's if the guy can't take a bump. But grabbing the guy by the face, like, that's not heat, bro. Like, heat is freaking nailing the guy square, nailing the old man and the father square in the face. That's heat. Again, I'm getting back to the half pregnant. You're the heel, bro. What you grab the guy by the jaw. Okay, so?
I mean,
again, we're half pregnant again, bro.
He could spit in his face, too.
Yeah, there's a million things he could do, Matt. So we're being half pregnant again.
The other thing is, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense with Shane going to such extents that he's jumping off the top rope and kicking the opponent to save Miz, to his promo the next week or the next 2 days later on SmackDown. There was never really an explanation.
That and Matt, you're gonna see that as a theme. We're gonna go down the card. I watched the show. I'm taking notes, bro. I do a review show on Russo's brand. When this is done, I'm like, Shane, I don't understand why you got heat with Miz. I don't understand why you want to fight him. You did not tell me. You did not tell me in that promo. But again, bro, it was like, this is the booking meeting. Okay, well, let's put Shane on WrestleMania. We need a special attraction. Okay, who could Shane work with? Okay, Shane can work with The Miz. Okay, let's make the match Shane and The Miz. That's the creative. He never, why do you have heat with this guy? You never told me.
And there's a story there to be told. You could involve Vince. You could involve Shane's feelings of inadequacy for his dad. You can involve a lot of stuff. But one thing we can't involve any longer is our Twitch members. Thank you for joining us. If you want to hear this whole show, it's going to be posted tonight on patreon.com/RussoKoon. Russo Kun with a K, and make sure to check it out, or just wait till Tuesday and it's coming out, the entire show on WrestleMania this year. But if you want the full unedited version, check it out on Patreon tonight.
All right.
So
I mean, it's just frustrating, bro. It's like, bro, I'm watching the show. Can you at least explain to me why this is happening? Bro, it's like if I'm watching CSI and, all of a sudden, Joe murdered Mary, and they never tell us why Joe murdered Mary. He murdered Mary for the hell of it. We never find out why Joe murdered Mary. That's exactly what it is, bro. Can you tell me? I'm watching your show. Please at least make an attempt to make sense out of this for me.
Could you imagine having a Law and Order episode where they had this kind of explanation where you never actually found out why? You just
you found out he did it, but you never found out the motive. No. What Shane? What's your effing motive? What's the motive, bro? Okay, we understand they want to book you at WrestleMania. We get that. What's the motive, bro? Why? And bro, you're going to see this in every single angle as we go down the line. You're going to see the same pattern over and over and over again.
Is it particularly frustrating to you in this case because they have the right guys in there? They have the right kind of framework in there. And with just a little attention to detail, you could really tell a story and you could really get this feud hot. It could have been done right. Right?
With planning, absolutely, Matt. With planning, bro. If you were going to plan this 12 weeks out or 10 weeks out with the right plan, bro, you want to jump to the next one or you want to stay on this? Because let me segue. When you talk about the planning, bro, what about it being Kurt Angle's last match? Bro, are you telling me you could not have built up to that for the last 3 months, bro, and really made Kurt Angle's last match mean something? Now, bro, he tells us 3 weeks before WrestleMania, this is going to be my last match, and he don't know who his opponent is. So because of lack of time, we already know there's not going to be a story. Maybe his opponent is John Cena, whoever. There's not going to be a story. There's not going to be a personal issue because there's no time. Bro, you back this up 3 months. You could have had a hell of a story with one of the greatest performers of all time, Kurt Angle.
And you could have built somebody up. You could have built up Chad Gable. You could have kept Dolph Ziggler in there and had Dolph Ziggler with his amateur wrestling background. You could have made somebody with this. But the preparation, this may be the only one I have a rant about, because Angle is so great, and they spent the last 6 months burying him, completely emasculating him and burying him, so we couldn't care less than we do about his last match, even though we care. But they've done nothing to make us care about this, even if it is hot-shotted with a John Cena.
And you know what, bro? I was talking about it last week because I'm very, very high on this and I'm very big on this. Matt, that's a total disrespect to Kurt Angle. And Kurt knows it. This isn't how Kurt wants his last match to be. Kurt knows it. It is such a total disrespect that you could not do a 3-month angle out of this and really turn this into something absolutely huge.
You could even see it in the way that they said, oh, well, fuck it. Just give him Apollo Crews in Pittsburgh. A guy who has that a win.
That's it. Exactly. Give the babyface the strong win. That's exactly what it was, bro. Give the baby face. Bro, can I tell you something, Matt? Let me go off on a tangent here. This brings me back to Bruce Pritchard. This brings me back to Jeff Jarrett. This brings me back to Michael Hayes. This brings me back to Paul Heyman. This brings me back to Triple H. This brings me back to Vince McMahon. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Here's what I said, bro. You can't keep going back to the well. Because when you bring in the Bruce Pritchards, bro, and you bring in the Jeff Jarrett's and the Michael Hayeses and all these guys, what are they going to do, bro? They're going to do what they know. They're going to do what worked in 1970 and what worked in 1980. They're going to do what they know. What worked in 1970, what worked in 1980 does not work in 2020. That's why even Vince Russo, bro, you don't want to bring in a Vince Russo. You want a Vince Russo to mentor a young kid, you know, a 25-year-old kid, a 26-year-old kid, a Matt Conway, who's going to be the future writer of the company. But you don't want Russo coming in and writing TV. Matt, here's my point. The demographic for wrestling is still 18 to 34 years old. It's 18 to 34. Bro, how old is Bruce?
He's 50-something, right?
How the F does Bruce know what an 18 to 34-year-old wants? How the F does he know what an 18 to 34-year-old watches on TV, goes to the movies to see, spends his entertainment dollars on? Hey, he doesn't know, bro, because he's not in that he's not in that sweet spot. You need people that age contributing to that show. Otherwise, it's going to be the same old, and you're going to have your same old audience, and you're never going to grow it, bro. And that's the problem, bro. They again, look at this week's show. What did they do with Seth Rollins, bro? Opening up. Oh, bro, Seth Rollins is going up against Brock Lesnar. Let's give him the strong babyface win against Shelton Benjamin. Okay, bro, Kurt Angle's gonna have his last match at WrestleMania. Let's give him the strong babyface win in his hometown. Bro, you did that in 1980. You did that in 1980. Both of those matches, we knew the finish before it ever happened. There's no reason to watch the match. Shelton Benjamin is not going to beat Seth Rollins on his way to Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle is not going to lose in his hometown of Pittsburgh after he just announced his retirement match. So why the F am I watching the show? Why am I because I'm going to get right back to it, Matt. Why am I watching the show? Because I want to see a fake fight? No, bro, I'm an adult. I have no interest in a fake fight. So what do, bro? The NBA's on another channel. Let me go see how the Nuggets are doing. Why am I watching these matches when we know what you're doing?
Fair enough. And I think an opportunity has been missed with Bruce Pritchard. I think he easily could dress up in makeup as the Miz's dad and then take a bump, because I think there's opportunity there they're not taking advantage of.
Very nice. Very nice.
There's a similarity there.
Bro, Kenny King, the great Kenny King.
He's great, yeah.
I never met Kenny King. I was very impressed with him when I saw him on TNA, so I wanted to have him on my show. Never met him, never had a conversation with him, right, Matt? So we're talking creative book and this and that. Kenny King hits me right between the eyes. You know what he says to me?
What's that?
Vince, how can you book or write for a black man? He goes, are you black? Like, have you ever been in my shoes, bro? Do you have any idea what my life has been like that you can write for a black man? And, bro, I stopped dead in my tracks and I said, bro, you are 1,000,000% correct, Kenny. Nobody ever positioned that to me before. You and I have never met. I thank you. You are dead on. I can't. I can't. I am not equipped. I am not experienced. I don't have the knowledge to write for somebody like you. It's the same thing, bro, when we're talking about 18 to 34 years old. As a 58-year-old guy, bro, I can't write. If you're trying to capture that audience, I can't write for you, bro. I'm not in that sweet spot. Matt, I was going through the Billboard music. I like to stay on top of Billboard, right, bro? So I was going through Billboard, top 200 albums. Matt, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who the number one guy is, the number two guy, the number three. I don't know who they are because of my age. But that's the wrestling bubble, bro. I always bring up the wrestling bubble. We're going to keep rotating the people through the bubble, and nothing's ever going to change.
And speaking of what you were talking about earlier with Kenny King, it's always funny to me when white people try to explain to me about racism, and the white experience is different. The black experience is something that we can't possibly write for.
The female right. Experience is different. The female, bro, no different.
And speaking of that, there was some people who thought there might have been a little bit of a racial component to what happened this last week on SmackDown with Kofi Kingston and Vince McMahon and Daniel Bryan and even the entire New Day with the whole, we've been good, Vince. We've done everything you said. We've been good soldiers. Why can't we get this? Please, please, please. I've never seen wrestlers positioned in that way before, not baby faces.
Matt, I'm watching this segment. Again, bro, there is a theme here. Matt, can I ask you one simple question?
Sure.
Have we been told, has it been explained to us? Think about the no sense this makes. Think about it, bro. When you look at the whole picture, think about how idiotic this is. Bro, did the entire McMahon family not appear in the ring 2 or 3 months ago and basically tell the fans that they were going to book the show?
Yep.
Did that happen, or was that something I saw in a dream?
I believe that happened. They said that you are now the authority.
Okay, now, let's not forget that. So now, bro, we fast forward to the fans chanting, we want Kofi, we want Kofi, we want Kofi, we want Kofi. Okay? Well, bro, let's look at that on a couple of levels. Let's look at that storyline-wise, and let's look at that business-wise. If you're Vince McMahon, you just finished saying you guys are now the authority. Okay, bro, so they're telling you we want Kofi. But for whatever reason, bro, you're not giving them Kofi because Kofi's B+. They're telling you you want Kofi. You told them that they're going to be able to be booking the territory, but now you tell them they can't have Kofi. That's number one. Number two, logically, from a business point of view, if your fan base is chanting, we want Kofi, you give them Kofi. From a business point of view, you give them Kofi. So now I'm watching this promo, and I'm having the same reaction I have to Shane. Vince, what is your heat with Kofi Kingston? You've not explained that to us. We knew what your heat was with Steve Austin. What is the heat with Kofi Kingston? You've not told us. Bro, the fans are chanting. You said you're going to give the fans what they want. If they want him, it's going to make you money. So the fact that you're making it difficult for him, it makes absolutely no sense, Vince. So now, bro, there's the Vince Russo side of me in the back of my mind because I'm watching this and I'm like, Vince, I don't know why you got heat with this guy. We don't understand this. Bro, I literally am waiting for when Kofi gets the mic and starts saying why I did everything you told me to do, blah, 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 blah. Bro, I am waiting for Kofi to say, well, Vince, then it could only be one thing. You're a racist. And the expression on Vince's face, boom, go off the air. Because, bro, it could have went nowhere else. We don't know why Vince is hot at you. We don't know why he's giving you the opportunity. We don't know why he's booking you against 12 guys next week. The only logical reason could be is because he's a racist. Well, if that's the story and if that's the logic, then freaking say it. Then say it, bro. But if you're trying to be cool and clever, implying things, you're not implying shit, bro. You're making it confusing. We don't understand.
And I would agree that I think there is a racial subtext being implied there. I don't think it's clear. I think it's almost unclear to the point where it smacks of real racism, and it's kind of a dishonest way to go about things. Going back to what you said earlier about, they said it's a new era. They said there's going to be, the fans decide what's going on. No changes took place except they got rid of the automatic rematch clause, and also I would say they only focused on Raw, and they completely tossed to the side Baron Corbin, Elias, and Braun Strowman. I don't see anything other than they did with that big statement that they made at the end of the year.
God, now that you say that, bro, Braun Strowman is not even figured into WrestleMania at this point.
I think he is confined to a comedy skit with the guys from SNL. I think that is what's going on. How big a part of WrestleMania would you have Braun Strowman be?
Well, bro, but that's the thing. They've never committed to him. Okay, bro, we're going to make you a monster. We're going to make you a monster. We're going to make you a monster. Okay, bro, Brock Lesnar is going to beat you. All right, bro, now we're going to build you up. You're going to turn over cars. You're going to throw toilets off the stage. We're going to make you a monster, and you're going to lose your next match. Bro, obviously the shit going on with Braun Strowman, obviously, bro, it's got to do with backstage politics. It's got to do with him saying the wrong thing or looking at somebody the wrong way, because you could not F up this character more if you intended to, bro. This character should be like literally, bro, an Andre status, or how a Big John Studd was back in the day, or how Paul White was originally booked. Bro, they put this freaking guy in an elf suit a couple of years ago, and then what, bro? I can hear Triple H now. Oh, bro, you're not getting yourself over. Well, no, bro, I'm not going to get myself over if you put me in an elf suit. That's going to be very difficult for me to get myself over. But my God, bro, dropping the ball with somebody like this, wow, how those people involved are still employed with the company is beyond me.
And it's not talked about enough, but Braun Strowman was scheduled for a match with Brock Lesnar, was taken out and replaced by Finn Balor, earned that shot, was taken out for a supposed injury, but yet he can still tear apart a car. Nothing was ever said about it. Nothing. He never went in. It was obviously a shift that took place away from Braun Strowman.
Yeah, no, bro, can you imagine like bringing in, like, I'm just like, bro, can you imagine bringing in a Steve Austin and just using Austin to smarten Strowman up? You know what I'm saying, bro? To freaking slap that guy across the face and say, how long you been in the business, boy? Do you not see what's going on here, bro? When are you going to get your head out of your ass, bro? I wish I had the tools that you had. And you're going to let these freaking corporate puppets, bro, put you in an elf costume, make an absolute fool and joker. I mean, that's all you need. That's all you freaking need. But, I mean, bro, having an Erector-set car and him take a car apart piece by – like, are you like, bro, what am I, 10?
You know the WWE had that car for sale that night on WWE
Maybe
Shop?
That's why they did it, bro, to make a couple $1,000s on the car.
Dude, they had the car on sale. Like, they had the car on sale that night after the bit. where he tore that car apart. They had a Braun Strowman tear apart car on WWEshop.com.
Bro, everything going on. Like, you just had Bryce Harper get, what, $330 million for 13 years.
Yes, sir.
Bro, can you imagine a Braun Strowman hiring Steve Austin to be his agent? Bro, even somebody like Bret Hart would be great in that freaking role. Just somebody who says, bro, do you not see politically you're being killed here, bro? You're sitting in the back, you're being a country bumpkin, you're not saying anything. People are walking all over you. You should be the highest paid guy on this card, and somebody who experienced that. That's all you need, bro.
Staying on Raw, it's a tricky situation.
And then, bro, you have a guy come on there and threaten to go to AEW.
Right.
I mean, this stuff, bro, I don't need to tell you a million times, this isn't rocket science, bro. It's simple.
What do you make of the fact that the last month or so, every top feud has tried to inject some measure of the reality in it that you've been a big advocate of for so long? Whether it be Dean Ambrose is actually leaving, whether it be Richard Fleur, whether it be whether it be Ronda Rousey, whether it be Dixie Carter tanning with AJ Styles, they're trying, but like you said, it's half pregnant.
Vince McMahon told me that. Vince McMahon said to me, you can't be half pregnant. Here's what it comes down to, Matt. What the F are you so afraid of? If you're going to tear down the curtain and the fourth wall, tear it the F down. Here's what they're afraid of, Matt. Let me tell you what they're afraid of. They're in the wrestling bubble. The wrestling bubble doesn't know how to deal with reality. Because if I was there and I said, let AJ bring up that Orton went AWOL, you know what they would say to me? Oh, where are you going to go with that, Vince? You know, and this was always Bischoff's speech with me. You know what, bro? I don't know where I'm going to go with it right now. I'm going to let it happen organically like it really would happen. But that's the problem, bro. The bubble is kayfabe. They don't know how to deal with reality. Can we continue the pattern? I don't know the beef between Batista and Triple H. What is the beef, guys? I don't know what phone calls you had, you didn't have. I don't know if Triple H didn't answer Batista's call, if he didn't get back to him. I don't know if politically Triple H held him down when he was there. I don't know. Here's what I know. I got two guys screaming at each other, give me what I want. We're going to do it my way. Give me what I want. We're going to do it my way. Never once did they explain to me the heat. What is the heat, guys? So Shane McMahon never explained what his heat with The Miz. Vince McMahon has never explained his heat with Kofi Kingston. And now Batista has not explained his heat with Triple H. I don't get any of this match, Matt. We're supposed to figure out, it's like a David Lynch movie. We're supposed to figure shit out that doesn't even exist.
It's very subtle.
Bro, I came to the theory after watching a lot of David Lynch movies. Here's what David Lynch does, bro. He has these effed up movies, bro, like, Twin Peaks, all these effed up movies he does. Bro, there's no explanation. It doesn't exist. So you go on having conversations forever and ever and ever and ever. There's no answer. David Lynch is just putting shit out there so we could debate. There's no answer. That's what Raw has become. We don't know why guys are fighting, what their beefs are. We're supposed to sit here and figure it out at home, but the punchline is they don't even know.
And then it becomes about every fight, every wrestling match becomes about, I'm better than you, you're better than me. Or you think you're better than me, I'm a good guy, you're a bad guy, I'm going to attack you, you're going to get your revenge. And that works if it's not every single feud. That works if you have two tough guys. If you have Orndorff and Piper, if you have two tough guys. But if you have a whole card full of this stuff, it's not working. With Triple H and Batista, once again, you're thinking going back to the well of, if you're going to be real, make it real. Maybe bring up Daniel Bryan. Maybe bring up what happened 4 or 5 years ago.
Bro, what about, again, this was said on my show and not by me. That's why I want to make sure I don't take credit from it. I think Stevie Richards said this. Bro, what about Batista rolling out his movie resume and then talking about the movies that Triple H has made under the WWE umbrella? What about that, bro? What about that?
Hey, how many of you guys out there saw Conan? Conan's great, right? Raise your hand if you saw Conan. Now raise your hand if you saw Guardians of the friggin' Galaxy.
Bro, what was the other one he did, bro? The Chaperone or something? Remember the WWE? Bro, why isn't Batista talking about that? Let me tell you why. Because Triple H's ego will not allow Batista to talk about that. That's the shit that people at home want to hear, bro.
And what did we hear from the fans? This is my objection to it, that everybody on Twitter said I was wrong about, but I'm not wrong about. What did we hear from the fans during that? We heard a Batista chant. Batista just beat up Ric Flair, a 70-year-old man, the greatest of all time, on his 70th birthday. And fans are so uninvested in the story that they're cheering for Batista. It's also going against Triple H's ego, in my mind, that Triple H should be the heel. Triple
Bro, why not? The perfect person to tell that story of, bro, you, Triple H, are a political animal, bro. Bro, all somebody has to say is, bro, I even question that you love your own wife. Let's be honest, Triple H, that this was a plan you had the day you set foot. You're going to woo the boss's daughter. I mean, bro, you've gotten guys fired. You've ruined people's career. I mean, let's shoot with that. Bro, come on. Like, shoot with that, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, bro, what you did to China, bro. Let's shoot with that, bro. Then let's talk about what you're doing to Vince McMahon, bro. You're putting over NXT, bro, and purposely trying to hurt his brand. Let's talk about that shit.
And Batista,
it was nonsense. They talked about nothing.
And all to lead up to, and that was so cynical too, is if you're leading up to a match, you know, with that kind of yelling, it had to be a Hell in a Cell match. But it's the no-holds-barred match you know is going to happen with two guys who are over 40, right?
Can we talk about something with the wrestling bubble?
Go ahead.
I want you to be honest with me. You're a serious wrestling fan, right?
Sure.
Matt, when is the last time? This is about the wrestling bubble and how things never change. Bro, I went off on a tirade about the finish at Fastlane. Bro, think about how ridiculous this is, because they never change. They're in the bubble. They don't change, even 30 years later when shit doesn't make sense. Ronda Rousey has laid out both Becky and Charlotte. Okay? Ronda hits the ring at Fastlane. Okay? Ronda has no ties whatsoever with Charlotte Flair. Okay? Ronda's got one thing in mind. You know, I'm going to do something to Becky Lynch. I'm going to somehow, some way try to get Becky Lynch in the match. Okay, that's Ronda's agenda.
Right, because she wants to embarrass her on the biggest stage of all. So it's in her power to do what she can to do it. And she comes in and just hits her.
Let's talk about this from a bubble point of view. So they know, okay, bro, we got to get to a three-way. How do we get through to a three-way? Okay, that's the discussion in the creative meeting. How do we get to a three-way? Well, first of all, bro, Ronda has no alliance with Charlotte. As a matter of fact, they don't like each other. She's beating the shit out of Charlotte. She comes in, she attacks Becky Lynch, and what does the referee do? Disqualifies Charlotte. So why are you disqualifying Charlotte? Charlotte had nothing to do with Becky Lynch hitting the ring and attacking with Ronda hitting the ring. She had nothing to do with it. Why are you DQing her? You're DQing her, bro, because you want to get to a three-way. Bro, it's the equivalent of UFC. Bro, can you imagine two guys in UFC fighting in the octagon? All of a sudden, bro, another fighter who's got a beef with one of the guys jumps the octagon and beats the shit out of one of the fighters, and they're going to disqualify the fighter who's standing there watching this happen. That's what I'm talking about, the bubble, bro. This shit, it doesn't make sense, guys. You've got to change the shit up. The first thing I would do is change the freaking rules of wrestling, bro. The fact that a heel can keep his title by walking back to the locker room and getting counted out is effing ridiculous, bro. You came up with that in 1960. So any casual fan watching that today is saying this is a joke, which gets me back to no holds barred, Matt. Matt, when's the last time you saw any wrestling match where a hole was barred? Why are you using jargon from 1960? No holes barred. When's the last time an effing hold was barred? Give me a break. Can we just say no rules? Anything goes, bro? Can we just say that? But Triple H, no holes barred. Triple H, when's the last time a hole was barred from a wrestling match? Was Stan Stasiak's hard punch? Was that the last time, Matt? I mean, that's what I'm talking about with the bubble, bro. It's cartoony. We're laughing at this shit.
What's funny is that there is a hold that's barred, and they're not going to use it. They're not going to be choking. You're not allowed to choke anymore. You're not going to be able to take a cord and wrap it around their neck. That's something you don't do anymore. That's the only hold that's barred. But this is kind of the go-to whenever you have two guys over 40 that kind of walk and punch, you know, and also it's kind of this ongoing joke, like, what's the difference between a no holds barred and a no disqualification and a street fight? It's all the same thing, you know. It's all the same.
It's all the same thing.
But that kind of covers that match. But let's go to something else that's a little trickier to deal with, maybe, and maybe something, I don't know, maybe you give a little pass to the WWE. Roman Reigns is back, and they had to hot shot something real quick to get him on the card. But at the same time, they can't be complimented for the fact that Drew Galloway had nothing to do, so he was the one put in. What do you think of this Drew Galloway Roman Reigns match? I like it if they had some build up, because those two guys are the future of the company, but it seems a little, I don't know, thrown together.
Matt, think of how it is thrown together, Matt. It is. We need an opponent now. Roman's back. We need an opponent at WrestleMania. Matt, think about how they've backed themselves into a corner here. Let's look at it logically. Okay, think about this, Matt. They put Rollins over at WrestleMania. Okay, so Rollins is the champion now. So now you got to look at, and which is probably the reason why there's no automatic DQ, because maybe it is Lesnar's last match, or maybe Brock's going to disappear for 3-6 months, whatever the case may be. But they put Rollins over, right, Matt? Now we know they need an opponent for him, right? Well, bro, look at what they've done now. First of all, like, all of a sudden now Drew McIntyre is supposed to mean something, even though you've buried him for the last 3 months. But now he's Superman. Now he means something. Bro, they have said over and over, Drew McIntyre has said he's going to take the Shield out one by one. He's going to take him out by one. Well, bro, what that would mean to me would be is, if that's what they're promoting and he's going to beat him one by one, he just took out Ambrose. That would mean to me he's going to take out Roman Reigns and then finally get to the champion. That's what that would mean to me. But, bro, that can't mean that to me, because now you've booked a guy against Roman Reigns who is just coming back from cancer. You can't beat Roman Reigns in a match like that at WrestleMania. So what are you going to do, bro? Okay, so what are we're either going to beat the guy that just had cancer. We can't do that. So, okay, bro, so you're going to beat Roman Reigns. Well, then what, bro? So then Reigns is going to want a shot against Seth Rollins. So now, bro, now what do we have to do? Now you're going to have to turn Rollins heel because the guy with the cancer can't be a heel. And now you turn Rollins heel, and now they shit on Reigns again. Like, now you're right back where you started, bro. They're not figuring this shit out, Matt. I don't know what the freak they're doing.
So what the arrangement you might make is having Drew Galloway maybe go through the Shield a little bit, and then having a long-range plan for Reigns, because his situation is so unique, and the boo's already coming in. I mean, I heard boos the other night. So what to do with Roman Reigns?
What do you do with Roman Reigns, bro? If you put the belt on Seth Rollins, what do you do with Roman Reigns? He can't chase Seth Rollins because you're going to get yourself right back where you started. They're going to forget about the cancer. They love freaking Rollins, and they're going to start booing Reigns again.
So I would have personally switched things up as soon as Reigns came back and figured out a way to get the Shield in a three-way for WrestleMania to say goodbye to Ambrose and get McIntyre up in that match with Brock. But once they settle on something, they decide to do it. So now we have Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Rollins wins the Royal Rumble, so he's set in that match. Everybody knows it's going to be him. Everybody remembers his cash-in from the year that you were at WrestleMania weekend in San Jose. Brock Lesnar, meanwhile, is the same Brock Lesnar we've had for a few years, this absentee champion. And they're still playing the same angle they started with Reigns, which is, I'm here every week, this guy's not. But yet Brock Lesnar comes in and performs his ass off. It still doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't work. And again, bro, what is the angle? What is the angle? It's exactly what you said. Oh, you're here every week and I'm not. This is my house. No, it's my house. There is no angle. Now, bro, if it's me, especially if you're going to put Rollins over, if it's me and I'm Seth Rollins, here's my promo. When I got in this business, I had one goal and one goal in mind. I wanted to be the absolute best. I wanted people to be talking about Seth Rollins in 25 years like they talk about Richard Fliehr today. Okay, that was my goal. I was going to be the best.
Would you have him say Richard Fliehr?
Yeah, Richard Fliehr. Yeah, I'm going to go down, with the legends in this business. That was my goal. Everything I did my entire life, I want to be my best. And you know what, Brock? There have been a lot of people in my shoes, bro, but then when it came to the ultimate test being you, they fell short. And when you lose the big one, where do you go from there, bro? If you can't beat the beast and you can't beat the champ, where do you go from there? You go down, okay? I did not come here to go down. That's not in my game plan. And let freaking Rollins say, so what I'm saying is this. If I don't defeat you, if I don't beat the best at WrestleMania, okay, I will leave my boots in the ring and I will never, ever wrestle another match for this company again because I failed. So now at least you got the people at home saying, holy shit, are they really going to put Seth Rollins over Brock Lesnar? And how are they going to do it? So my point is, if that's what you're going to do anyway, that should be the promo, bro. That should be what he's saying. If I can't beat you, there's no place for me to go. What? I'm going to go win the Intercontinental title again, bro? I'm going to go on SmackDown and be the U.S. champ? Is that what I'm going to do, bro? No, bro, that's not my path. That's not the plan. So I'm done, bro. I'm done.
Nowhere to go. Yeah, there's nowhere to go at that point.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of talk. One of my least favorite things about wrestling fans, especially on Twitter, and you can follow me at Matt Coon Music on Twitter if you'd like to say something dumb to me, is this conspiracy theorist stuff. One is, of course, Roman never had cancer, which is dumb to even talk about. And the second one is Ambrose is not actually leaving. And I understand why some people might think that because WWE is addressing it on screen, which is very unusual. But I would gather, I assume you do too, by the nature of the beatdown by Drew McIntyre on Ambrose, that was a goodbye for Ambrose and he is actually leaving? Is that what your take would be?
You know, bro, here's how I look at it, bro. If he intended on leaving, and I think he had every intention to leave, I think he gave them a heads up and this and that. Bro, even if Reigns came back and like Reigns, you know, tried to sit him down and have a talk with him and this, that, and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. Bro, if Dean Ambrose has a brain in his head, and I do think he does. I've seen Ambrose as himself, you know, not in character in interviews and shit like that. And Ambrose, he's smart to the business. Bro, if Ambrose decided to change his mind, he knows they would be effing with him, bro, for the next 5 years. He knows that, bro, because he knows the wrestling business. I don't think, bro, you could ask for your release, get it granted, and then go back, because they will make your life miserable going forward.
And especially in his case where he didn't ask for his release, his contract is up and he turned down. We're talking about a guy who makes millions of dollars. We're talking about a guy who makes not 1 million, but multiples of millions of dollars in a year working for the WWE. And he turned down a contract with them. So in Vince's mind, I can't imagine him returning and changing his mind would be a good idea. And by the nature of what you saw on screen, the beatdown, the definitive victory, and I thought it was excellent, by the way, of Drew McIntyre on Ambrose. He's gone, right? That's
I believe so, yeah. Now, I totally could be off base. I believe so, yes.
Doesn't it fall along the lines of the character of the people typically working in the upper ranks of WWE that Renee is in trouble as well?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt. There's no way. I think on both sides of the fence, there's no way she can continue on working there if he's not there. No way.
Hypothetically, Dean Ambrose going to All Elite Wrestling is a good pickup. But hypothetically, Dean Ambrose and his wife going to All Elite Wrestling would be.
I don't even think they should do that, bro. If I'm freaking Dean Ambrose, I'm freaking working indie shows. I'm charging top dollar. I'm kind of doing the Jericho and the Kenny Omega. Man, I don't know if he'd want to go full time with another company, man. I would just, man, he was at the WWE long enough. He's got a name. He can set a price. He can work when he wants, where he wants. I mean, that's what I would do. And I think he would be very, very, very successful doing that. Now, he may turn around and sign with them, but I don't think he needs to.
With Reigns, Ambrose, Rollins, the Shield is no more. They were a big part of WWE for the last few years, but something that's become the top story in WWE, and I think we're finally getting to it, is Mandy Rose versus Asuka. Who do you think? I know this is what we're all waiting to talk about. The headline women's match. It's really just a vehicle for Mandy, right? That's all this is. It's a vehicle for Mandy. She's going to headline WrestleMania next year after this whole fiasco. What do you think of the feud? Asuka has just disappeared off the face of the earth as the champion.
Matt, think about this again. And Matt, can I tell you something? A lot of what we're talking about, Matt, a lot of this has to do with politics. Okay? We don't know what's going on back there. Okay, bro, I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that I see has to do with politics. I don't know what's going on. Here's what I do know. As a fan, I don't give a shit. And politics have a tendency with the WWE to make stuff on that we're seeing not make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm a writer there and I know the politics and I know what they want to do, this is exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, guys, you could do whatever you want to do to flex your muscles, but it sure as hell doesn't make any sense to anybody. Bro, They literally killed the entire Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey angle. They killed the whole angle by having Becky Lynch tap out to Asuka. Okay? Because, bro, she tapped her out. She didn't pin her. She tapped her out.
I agree.
Okay, bro, if Asuka tapped out Becky Lynch doesn't have a chance in hell against Ronda Rousey. So, like, to me, bro, put Becky over Ronda. I don't freaking believe it for a second. You had Asuka tap out Becky Lynch. Ronda Rousey should therefore destroy her. But now, bro, not only that, the one that tapped out Becky Lynch, her next featured match is against Mandy Rose. I mean, Matt, do you know how ridiculous this shit is? Like, are you effing kidding me? So you got nobody over. You got Asuka went from Becky Lynch to Mandy Rose. So Asuka went down. Becky Lynch tapped out. So now she has no credibility going in a match against Ronda Rousey. But she's going to beat Ronda, and we're supposed to believe that.
But Mandy's going to win. Mandy's going to beat the woman who tapped out
Becky Lynch. Yeah, it all makes sense at the end. It all makes sense, bro. It all makes sense.
You know, when it's all said and done, the person at the top is going to be blonde and is going to look like Mandy. I think that's the way it all works out. So we talked about it a bit. We've alluded to it a bit. Everybody's talking about it. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. It all started a few months ago when the fans are starting to get behind Becky Lynch and they tried to turn her heel. And she tried to embrace the heel, and the fans rejected it. And then they tried to switch it back, and then they got involved with Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte started getting hardcore and beating Rousey with a kendo stick, and then Becky broke her jaw. It's been a long road to this point, leading to the Royal Rumble, where not only did Becky Lynch tap out instead of having a potential Steve Austin moment where she fades out and is a tough person, but also winds her way into the Royal Rumble and also is now a walking disaster with a broken arm and a broken leg and a black eye and a broken jaw. And you've got Ronda Rousey now, who is now showing, oh, I'm a real fighter. It's a train wreck. And it's the number one feud. It's probably going to headline WrestleMania.
And you forgot the biggest part of it, bro. How freaking Stephanie got her back in the match. Remember that whole thing, bro? Because what happened was, you know, she laid out Triple H, she laid out Stephanie. She wouldn't go to the doctor. Okay, right. Bro? That's right. Remember that?
Right.
So Stephanie and Triple H say, "Oh, that's okay. As long as you say you're sorry." So they have her say she's sorry, bro. Can you imagine Austin saying he was sorry? They have her saying he was sorry, only for Vince McMahon to come out and say, I don't give a shit that you said you're sorry. You're still suspended. So now, bro, Stephanie comes back again, unsuspends her again. Well, then why didn't Vince suspend her again? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like Vince said the first time, I don't care that you told them you're sorry. They don't run this company. I do. You're still suspended. Well, 2 weeks later, Stephanie came back and lifted that suspension, and Vince McMahon did nothing about it. And the whole thing is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
And also Ronda at some point dropped her title and put it in the middle of the ring.
Put it on the line, but took it back.
And then disqualified. It's so convoluted.
Bro, can you imagine Alundra putting the WWE title in the WCW trash basket, and then when she thinks nobody's looking, she goes back and takes the title back, bro?
And then Vince comes out and says, put it back. And then Stephanie says, only if you get a note from your doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So let's talk about, there's a couple things here to talk about, because this is what everybody is in the tip of everybody's tongue, or what they want to be on the tip of everybody's tongue. The convoluted nature of it. I just described a lot of the convoluted nature of the first half. You just described something that I even forgot. I think it happened 2 weeks ago. This is a reflection of a lack of planning and also constantly changing directions. Is that what this is?
Man, Matt, I think this is a problem. Like, this is a problem from the get-go. Now, Matt, you've had UFC fighters come into the WWE, but they were never really as, when they came in, they were never really as prominent as, Ronda Rousey was at one point. I'm talking about guys like Shamrock. Shamrock was never the guy in UFC. Tank Abbott had a little cup of coffee, but never really,
Nope.
The guy.
Not at all.
Okay, bro, Ronda lost her last 2 matches, but she had already kind of built a reputation for herself.
And also she was a draw.
Yes.
Her and Brock Lesnar are the 2 biggest draws in UFC history. To me, when they signed Ronda Rousey, that was the potential to have the biggest signee in WWE history.
Okay, right. So now, but bro, so the problem is you're bringing this draw from the UFC into the WWE, and you have to convince people that these fake fighters can actually beat Ronda Rousey. Bro, the only way you're going to do that is to build one girl. To build one girl who goes undefeated, who beats everybody, who destroys everybody. That's the only way you're going to do it. But what did they do, bro? They've got Becky beating Charlotte. They've got Charlotte beating Becky. They've got Asuka beating Becky. They've got, Charlotte beating Asuka. They have all these girls beating each other. So now that there really is nobody there that legitimately should be able to beat Ronda Rousey because they've not built anybody correctly that way, bro. Bro, if they put Becky Lynch over, and even if she goes over Charlotte or whatever the case may be, bro, you have not told a story where we believe Becky Lynch can beat Ronda Rousey. That's the problem. They've not made that person. So they effed it up, bro.
For sure. Yeah, when you look at how they had Ronda as one of the girls, she was wrestling house shows and she's one of the girls and she's selling for Alexa Bliss and all this. In your mind over the last year, wasn't the opportunity there and wasn't the only person to build up in this framework that you're laying down, the only person really who could have fit that role is Nia Jax?
Bro, that's hard for me to say because of what we've seen of Nia Jax. Not the Nia Jax they've showed us. Nobody would ever believe that in a minute. But if packaged the right way, absolutely yes.
Because when you look at UFC, if we're talking the framework of a UFC fight, there are weight divisions, there are size divisions. Power and size can overcome technique. There's no world in which a Becky Lynch can beat a Ronda Rousey, but built up correctly, especially the fact that she broke someone's jaw, that could have been something that could have been built up as a realistic thing, and then maybe go to Becky versus Charlotte. But how much do you think trying to ride this Becky gravy train has hurt this whole thing, where maybe this wasn't what people think it is?
Yeah, well, man, you know what I think happened too along the way? Because, bro, again, bro, I'm not the guy. I don't call people, I know in the WO what's going on, give me the dirt. That's not me. I like to kind of try to figure things out and kind of read between the lines. Matt, there was something very, very, very telling around Christmas time with Ronda Rousey. And that's when they did an interview with her and she went home and she spent time with her family and she broke down a little bit. And Ronda Rousey said, the time that I spent with the WWE is less time that I spend with my family. Now, bro, think about Ronda Rousey in the UFC. Bro, she's got a match like what, man? Once every 6 months, maybe?
Right, a few a year, but the training camp, the after training
yes.
camp,
yeah.
but it's not every waking minute
right.
of away from her family. She gets to go
right.
home after she works out.
Yeah, and I think, bro, Ronda let them know that. I think Ronda talked to them about the schedule and working house shows and being on the road. And I think, bro, when that happened, that's when they pulled back on her. I honestly believe that. They pulled back on her. At the same time, you had the people cheering Becky, but they still, bro, they did not know how to manage that.
There's a difference, too, between, and there's a lot of Becky Lynch fans out there. A lot of people think Becky is the person. But there's a lot to the fact that people may be chanting Kofi. People may, including myself, were cheering Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan was House of Fire, people are cheering Becky Lynch now. But none of these people, Daniel Bryan, even Daniel Bryan, affected business, affected money, affected a draw. How many matches of Becky Lynch's have we seen where an entire half of the audience has been tarped off? It's not a real thing. And
no, it's not a real thing, bro. It's the marks, you know, and I'm saying, I don't know what other word to use. It's the people that love and die and breathe and eat and shit wrestling. They have a tendency, they cling to the underdog. That's what they do. They like to pick out that one. Bro, here's what they like to do. They like to pick out that one person they rally around, and they like to pick out that one person they hate. That's what they do, bro. It's John Cena. It's Roman Reigns. It's Baron Corbin. And then on the other side, like you said, it's Becky Lynch. It's Daniel Bryan. They love to make that one person theirs. But that's the problem, bro. At the end of the day, the WWE is looking at dollars and cents, and that one person that the marks choose, bro, that's not the one person that's drawing the money. And usually the people that they're defying, those are the people drawing the money. So that in itself leads to a problem, because the WWE is clearly trying to kowtow to that audience. Bro, you can't kowtow to the audience if the people they're championing are not making you money. You can't do it.
And I think an argument could be made for Daniel Bryan where they missed that opportunity to have that draw money. At the same time, forcing this, try to recreate it and fix past mistakes with Kofi and Becky aren't working. But the reality is, Vince, in the last year, there's only one person who has affected ratings. Only one wrestler has made a difference in ratings. Do you know who that is?
The Disco Inferno on Impact.
For sure. I mean, he got them up from like a 0.3 to 0.5. That's like a 60% increase.
Disco Inferno.
But in the WWE, to a lesser extent, of course, disco is always implied. But in the WWE, there's one wrestler who has made a difference in house show attendance and in ratings. There's one. Roman Reigns.
Who? Roman Reigns. And merch.
When Roman came back, the ratings went up. You know, when Roman left, the ratings went down.
That's the problem, bro. See, so, bro, again, a lot of things they do don't make sense. They're trying to kowtow to the audience they already have, which I think is crazy business. But when that audience likes certain people and dislikes certain people, that's not where the money is for the WWE. So what do? They wind up saying, well, screw the smart marks on this instance because we're going with Roman. And then, you know, and then they're dealing with, you know, the people booing them out of the, bro, they've created all this, bro. I never thought I would see the WWE put themselves in a position like this, ever.
I could talk wrestling with you all day. I think we've covered this subject. It's been a great topic. I want to close with one point I thought about. You say it often, and I disagree. You say that they are They are catering to the marks. They are catering to the fans who like the fake fights. They are catering to the their hardcore fans. I disagree. I think they're catering to their own whims. I don't think you can have a world where they're catering to the marks in the same world where you have Bruce and Michael Hayes and Jeff Jarrett. And I think they're catering to Vince McMahon. And I think that's a totally different thing. I think for you see it, oh, well, they're catering to them. But I don't see that at all. I think it's just what we said earlier. They're catering to the monster that is the WWE, and they're catering to Vince. Do you see, how do you kind of work those two together where you see, well, they're trying to get the catering to the hardcore fans, but really we're just saying the same crap we've seen for 20 years?
Well, Matt, here's what we got to look at. Let's be honest. I'm being honest now. What was the last scene we saw on SmackDown?
It was
Kofi Kingston and Vince McMahon. Matt, I got to be honest with you, and I don't dislike Kofi Kingston at all. I don't have anything bad to say about. I was looking at him the other day, and I'm like, my God, bro, this guy, like, he probably has like minus body fat. Like, I was looking at him, bro, with this. I'm like, Jesus, like, how the hell? But here's my point. Here's my point, bro.
How the hell?
Yeah, like, how do you, like, okay, here's my point. The last scene we're seeing is Vince McMahon, Kofi Kingston. Matt, with all due respect, there isn't one casual wrestling fan on this planet, including me, that gives a shit about that scene. Not one, bro. No casual wrestling fan care. Bro, there is no casual wrestling fan behind Becky Lynch. And that's what I'm saying. When I'm talking from a casual point of view, we like Roman Reigns. He looks like the real deal. We like him. But what you're selling me as a casual fan, I am not interested in. That's what I'm looking at.
And even when you look at the New Day, he's the third most likely person in that group to get that crossover appeal. You have, first of all three are amazing in different ways, but Xavier Woods is a really compelling case, and I think we're all just waiting for that big moment for Big E, because when it went down on SmackDown, it wasn't Kofi Kingston clearing the ring, it was Big E clearing the ring, and his promo Matt, was the one you remembered.
But you just debunked what you said 5 minutes earlier, because you're dead on, bro. Out of those three guys, who would be Vince McMahon's guy?
Big E.
Bingo.
Right.
So why is it Kofi Kingston? It's Kofi Kingston because that's what the marks are chanting. That's not Vince's choice. It would be Big E in a second if it were Vince's choice.
I just think it goes to what you said earlier about catering to the underdog. Like, they're hearing everybody chant, and they're saying, okay, let's follow this direction. I don't think it's so much, let's go for work rate. I think it's so much like, what the hell do we do? Because Kofi fell ass backwards into this situation. This was a situation, the match that got him over to this level was a match set up for Mustafa Ali, who got injured. And Kofi just filled that slot. And something struck with the fans that were there. And it has to do with a lot of the fact that he's been there for a long time. He's always been liked. He's never been a heel. He's always been someone who's been there day in and day out, and nobody has anything bad to say about the guy. Why not get behind Kofi? But the opportunity was had to elevate Big E out of this situation, and that's why I think, it's kind of a missed opportunity.
I think they're going to do that, though, bro. I think eventually they have to do this. They got to have Big E lay out Kofi.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but we know that. But you're like, bro, did they even see that? I don't know what these people are thinking anymore. I watch these shows and I'm like, bro, I don't know how these discussions go behind closed doors, because, bro, none of this shit makes sense to me. None of it.
Well, that is what the F happened to WrestleMania. I'm going to be there. I'm going to let you know what happened to WrestleMania. It's always a long day, but it's always a fun day. Just sitting out there the lights, the pyro, the whole scene, meeting other fans is lots of fun. Vince, this entire show has been an Are You Kidding Me, Bro? But do you have enough energy left or another topic that you could bring up for our Are You Kidding Me, Bro segment on Truth with Consequences?
Yeah, bro, I do. And I don't want to get too stiff on her because I do like her. Okay? Matt, when the WWE, we have not talked about her, so I will throw this in. When the WWE first brought Bayley up, okay, I said if they book this girl correctly, she could be the female version of John Cena. Like, I really felt that.
I felt the same way about her as someone who watched her on NXT and was actually there in attendance when she debuted. The opportunity was there for her to be the kind of wrestler that not just a John Cena, but that every girl could connect with. I thought that potential was there as well.
Yeah, I thought the potential was there. I like her. I don't have anything as bro. First of all, I got to tell you that one of the worst things on the show every single week, and it is not their fault. Because it's, you know, they do what they can do, bro. The Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks promos. It's I go, you go, I go, you go, I go, you go, I go, you go. Bro, nobody's producing these girls. Nobody's working with these girls. They should be better now than what they are if they had a producer working with them every single day.
Is it the same thing that I've noticed in interviewing wrestlers that have wrestled over the last 20 to 30 years for Vince? No one gives a shit, right? Like, no one back there gives a shit about the Sasha Bayley promos, so they just throw them out there, right?
Yeah, because I gave a shit, but yeah, you're right. But here's my point.
I guess what I mean by that is the people who work there don't care. So
no, they don't. But what I'm saying is, like, when I was there, I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would care. I would care about these two. But I was reading, I caught a headline the other day, and then Becky Lynch said something to the fact about she learned more ring psychology from Tyler Breeze than anybody else. Exactly, Matt. That's what I said. I said, my God, I'm saying, Bayley, like, I hope you're not going to those same types of people to learn promo skills. Like, Becky, with all due respect, with the people you have around you and the people you have access to at the WWE, Tyler Breeze is schooling you on wrestling psychology. I mean, no disrespect to Tyler Breeze, but bro, I think I'm talking to a Terry Taylor before I talk to a Tyler Breeze, or I think I'm talking to a Michael Hayes, or I think I'm talking to freaking Paul Heyman. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So that leads me to believe when we see the in-ring work, when we see the selling, when we see the promos, like, are they talking amongst themselves and like just putting each other over and telling each other that was really good? Or are they really going to people that might say things they really don't want to hear? And that's human nature, bro. You don't want to go to somebody that's going to rip apart your promo. You want to go to somebody that's going to put your promo over. That's human nature. But that's not how you get better. And I just hope that a lot of these athletes there are really tapping into people that can really help them become better. I think it was Sasha Banks, bro. Believe it or not, I think it was Sasha Banks that like put over a conversation she had with Jerry Lawler. And I think it was Sasha that said, my God, he taught me so much about this, that, and the other thing. Guys, that's what you've got to do. Those are the people you have to go to. They're going to make you better.
Wait, are you trying to tell me, Vince, this is it. I think the show might be over now because you're trying to tell me that Jerry Lawler knows more about psychology than Tyler Breeze.
I think a little bit more, just a little, bro.
Not sure about that, but so there's with Bayley. That is it is a wasted opportunity. Let's go a little further with the "Are you kidding me, bro?" These tag team titles, what a wasted opportunity they've been, right? Where they could be used to feature people. The belts look fantastic. Maybe they put them on the right people, but even the feud that may be interesting, which is Nia Jackson, Tamina Snuka, who looks like it's her first day in the ring every time you see her. They've been kind of said, okay, you guys are going to wrestle Beth Phoenix and Natalya. This women's tag division, which has the potential to be something that makes stars, has been completely wasted in this paradigm.
Well, Matt, you know what it is? Here's what it is. And I've said this all the time, and there's no mystery to why Ed and I were successful. Ed and I were successful because there were two people. The more people you add to the process, the more difficult it becomes and the longer the process comes. What this all comes down to, bro, is a lack of planning. And when you have this many chefs involved, and bro, they're adding chefs. More chefs are being added. When you have these many chefs involved, bro, you cannot plan out things correctly.
And they lost a guy, by all accounts, the one guy who will pull you aside and say, wow, that segment was the shits, or this idea is the shits, was just fired, right?
Yep, exactly, bro. Bro, if I worked with Sasha and Bayley, I would say, guys, your freaking promos are the shit. And I'm telling you that to help you, bro. I'm hitting you right between the eyes because I don't know what anybody's telling you. I want you to be the best that you can be. And part of that process is to be honest with you. And now let's go to work.
And the guy we're talking about is Arn Anderson. And Arn Anderson never missed an opportunity, never lost a moment when he was on screen to make his promos help his characters in his matches. And losing a guy like that and not having anybody focusing on their promos has really, I mean, there's nothing you can do with Bayley now, right? She's done.
Bro, I don't know. I right now, I don't know what you would do. I wouldn't want to believe that, bro, because I think you could make a million mistakes with talent and still salvage them. I really believe that. But right now, if you're asking me on the spot what I would do with her, I would need some time to really think about that.
I always thought when they screwed up her debut that she could have just turned heel and been Sister Abigail for a while, and then anything, just to kind of take it out.
God, speaking of Sister Abigail, what happened to that guy? Where's that guy?
I don't know. They just bring him out. I guess he'll come out at Mania again, and we'll see. He's great. And I know Bruce personally is a big fan of him. Like
maybe that'll make a difference.
I've heard Bruce sing his praises. Matter of fact, I've heard him say, even though he doesn't need a talker, if he could manage anybody in the WWE, it would be him, because he's such a big fan of his.
Maybe we'll see a difference then. That's good news.
Well, I'll tell you what else is good news, guys. This has been another great episode of Truth with Consequences. Make sure to check out Vince Russo on the Russo's brand, 7 days a week, 10 shows and growing. Vince, you have the return of Big Vito to the brand. And you're teasing that someone else might be joining the brand too?
Yeah, bro. Somebody that I'm a big fan of. I've been a big advocate of for many, many, many years, bro. Probably going all the way back to 95, 96. Somebody that, man, there are certain people I like on, Russo's brand. He would have been right at the top of my list. And the reason why I say that, bro, is because the number one thing with me is, bro, if Matt, one of the reasons I got away from doing interviews was because I know damn well, bro, the boys are only going to say so much. You know, bro, they're not going to burn any bridges. They're not going to be truthful. They all, you know, we got that one last run at the WWE. We're going to get that call. I'm not going to say anything that's going to jeopardize that. So I felt that in a lot of my interviews, I really wasn't getting the truth. And I felt like it was a waste of my time. This is a guy that, like, he's like me. His career has been hurt by being honest, telling the truth, telling people what they didn't want to hear. He's somewhat been blackballed from the business like me, but he's been blackballed, bro, because he's again one of the most honest guys I've ever met in the business. And that's why I'm still friends with him to this day.
When are you going to reveal this person?
I believe we're going to start promoting in April. And hopefully he'll start with us in May.
Is it someone who had a memorable gimmick when they wrestled before?
I would say yes.
Okay.
But it's how you would describe gimmick.
I'm gonna maybe it's not who I think it is, but in any sense. Make sure to join that. You go to russosbrand.com. Less than $1 a week for all the content you possibly handle. Of course, listen to Total Engagement with Matt Coon. Different interviews every single week. And join us next week on Truth with Consequences. Vince, we're going to keep rolling because we need to record some shout-outs, but also we didn't talk about the brand, the Russo's brand at the beginning of the show. And I wanted to do that, and I'll just stick it in the beginning. You know, the beginning.
And you also, bro, you didn't say. I don't think you talked about Patreon at all.
Oh no, we didn't talk about Patreon at all. So let's do that, and we'll put it towards the beginning of the show, like we usually do with the plugs and everything.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch is Patreon members. Hey, here you go. This is all for you. So Vince, so much is going on, and you said you were going to work a little bit less. You were going to do a little bit less, but Vince, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff on Russo's brand. What is going on Russo's brand these days?
Yeah, again, bro, I always say I'm going to do less, and then we're adding more. We just added Goldilocks, who used to be a backstage reporter at TNA, and she's a legit rock star. I mean, she goes out on tour, bro. She headlines, with a lot of popular groups. She's, you could find her on YouTube, but now she's got her own show called Goldie's Closet. And I mean, and her and other hot chicks have appeared on the show in lingerie already, which of course everybody knows is a bonus to me. But Goldie's got her own show. Big Vito LaGrasso, is now back. We're back over 10 shows a week now. We're adding another big name, probably the beginning of May. And it's still all, bro, less than $1 a week. Castrating the Marks, Ben Hameen and Stevie with the Raw SmackDown review. That's Stevie Richards, the Disco Inferno, bro. It keeps rolling on, less than $1 a week. Just go to russosbrand.com.
And of course, what a value that is, less than $1 a week for over 10 shows a week. Why do you call him the Disco Inferno instead of Disco Inferno?
Well, because he is the Disco. I mean, there's a lot of imitators out there, Matt.
That's true.
He is the Disco Inferno.
And make sure to check that out at russosbrand.com. But also, our Patreon is on fire. We have phone calls going out this week. We have phone calls you made this week. We have packages, T-shirts, 8x10s, mugs going out, shipping out today and tomorrow as we speak. So those of you Patreons are going to have those by the time this show airs on Westwood One. Vince, so much going on our Patreon. Bunch of bonus shows. Our best fans ever. The best Russo fans ever. Gotta love our Patreons.
And now, Matt, I made legitimately somewhere between 20 and 25 calls yesterday. And guys, you got to understand, bro, you could ask anybody that's on Patreon, bro. Matt, when I call these people, it's not, hello, how are you? Thank you, got to go. Bro, we talk, bro. I have conversations with you, bro. I find out where you live, where you're born there, where you're raised there, what do you do for a living, bro. Tell me how you got into that, bro. Tell me a little bit of it. I mean, we have conversations. So many times when I was on the phone, I had my wife Amy poke her head in my office, and she was mouthing to me like, "Who are you talking to?" She thought I was talking to lifelong friends. So I want you guys to understand, when I give you a phone call, bro, we talk. You could ask me anything. I'm open to answering anything. Matt, I wanted to get all those pictures out yesterday. We had a really bad storm here in Colorado, so I didn't have the materials I needed. But hopefully by the end of the week, I should be able to get all those pictures as well.
And Patreon members, you got to help me out. If you are on the levels where you get the T-shirts or the 8x10s, you got to give me your address. If you're on the level where you get a phone call, I got to have your phone call. But Vince, today we're going to talk about WrestleMania. And do you know what match I'd like to see at WrestleMania?
What would that be, Matt?
So I'd like to see our Patreon members, Adam Ali, who you can find at MALZ32, and Jeffrey Tremblay, who is at Texas Tornado 782000. Adam and Jeffrey versus Matthew Wilson at Matthew_Wilson and Andy Toth at Real Andy Toth. Who do you think wins between Jeffrey and Andy as a tag team? I'm sorry, Matthew and Andy as a tag team versus Jeffrey and Adam.
Well, bro, I've spoken to a few of those. Patreon members, bro. Man, I think that one might go Broadway, bro. You got 4 big superstars in that match. Yeah, and let's face it, bro. The brand members, we don't do the flippity. We wrestle, bro. So I see these 4 guys wrestling to the end, bro. Broadway.
And I think Jeff gave me a different Twitter. I guess he has a new Twitter at Jeff Tremblay with the AY7 on Twitter. Hey, you want to talk about going Broadway? I got another match for you to think about. Of course, these are our Twitter, or these are our shout outs on the show for being a Patreon, but this is gonna be tough for you, man. I'm gonna make you call a winner here on this one. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Mike Perricone at Stats108 versus Troy Pack at Troy Pack. Troy DeLewis.
Oh, bro, you're talking about 2 patrons that I have a relationship with now. Hold on, bro. I talk to Troy just about every day. Me and Mike yesterday, bro, spoke for about 30 minutes. Oh,
Mike's
man, Matt, you can't make me call this one. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. You call. You be the heel, bro.
I'm going to give it. Wow, that's tough because Troy is the first one in at every Twitch that you do, and Mike is someone who actually helps us with some stuff on the show. So I'm going to go, maybe Mike gets it with some outside interference from Josh at JoshWGH21 on Twitter.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that, bro. I'll take that.
So, guys, if you are due a shout out, put it on our thread on Patreon. Of course, Adam Ali, Jeffrey Tremblay, Matthew Wilson, Andy Toth, Mike Perricone, Josh at JoshWGH21, and Troy at Troy Pack. Thank you. And one more, because he's a Russo Club Elite member. We just got his phone number, and he's a new Elite member, and he's going to be getting some T-shirts. George P. at DaGreek23, DaGreek23. Vince, do you like Greek food?
Oh, I love Greek food, bro. Bro, I swear to God. Do you like Greek food, Matt?
Oh, love it. Yeah,
Matt, let me tell you a little bit about my experience. I don't know if you're like me, bro, but every time I go for Greek food, I get the gyro. Okay? Every time.
Right.
You might call it a euro. I call it a gyro. That's how it's spelled. Gyro. Gyro.
It's fantastic.
I go to the gyro. Matt, last time I went to a Greek restaurant, they had a special. So, there were 3 things on the plate, and I'm like, let me try the special. And I went outside of my comfort zone and tried other Greek food. Bro, they've got, this Greek, they make, a Greek lasagna. Have you ever had that, bro?
Pasticcio?
I think so.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, my God, bro. There was this Greek lasagna, man. I couldn't believe it. And then they also make, a Greek eggplant.
Yeah, they're anything Greek is good,
Yeah. I don't like. You know what I don't like though, Matt? I don't like the olive gimmicks though.
The olives are not your usual olives. Sometimes they have pits, and sometimes they're strong tasting, and sometimes they're mushy. So
Let me tell you a couple of things about Greek food since we're on the subject.
Go ahead. Let's go. For it.
Number one, bro, I am a total mark. Bro, freaking that spinach pie. What is that called?
Spanakopita.
Oh, bro. And let me tell you what not to get at the Greek restaurant.
What's that?
Matt, if you get the Greek coffee, it will kill you. Like Matt, I had a sip of Greek coffee and I thought I was having a freaking heart attack. That shit will kill you, bro.
Yeah, that's the Demitas. It comes in a smaller cup and it's very thick coffee. But for me, I'll tell you, I have a student who is Egyptian. Her parents are from Egypt, and the mom brought me an entire plate of baklava, and I think she brought it for me and my employees, but my employees didn't get to try it. Baklava is the best. You ever had it?
Oh yeah, I had baklava. And speaking of that too, bro, I'm also a huge fan of Indian food too, bro.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
The only problem is I don't know what the frig I'm eating.
Yeah. It's usually vegetables, so you can go for it. But
it's all good. It's all good, bro. But I don't know what I'm eating.
Maybe it's best not to ask.
Yeah, true.
So make sure to join us on Patreon and get yourself a shout out at patreon.com/RussoCoon_TWC. And that's it, man. What do you think?
I think it's good, bro. I think it's interesting to just kind of go with a topical